pick a brand. Let's make some puff pastry cherry berry pie today. The ingredients for this dish are puff pastry, and you'll find that in the frozen section at your grocery store. And I have a bag of frozen very cherry berries. Any kind of frozen berry will work for this, but don't get strawberries because they're just too mushy. The next ingredient is sugar and then flour, and then I have an egg because I'm going to make a little egg wash and make it look all pretty on top. Puff pastry is going to be frozen, so you need to get that unfrozen, and it needs to come down to room temperature on its own. If you put the thing in the microwave, what's going to happen is you're going to get little sticky edges here and there, and it's going to be a disaster. So take it out and put it on your counter. It comes two to a box, so I'm going to save the rest for next time. You can tell that this is just too frozen now, so that's just going to have to sit and wait. But I'm starting the process by unfolding as best I can before it sticks. It's sticking. Okay, we're going to improvise and put that aside. This dish is a super easy, non-messy dish to make. So open your bag, pour them in the bowl, and here comes the other. You're going to want 1/2 cup of sugar for every pound of berries. This is 2 pounds of berries. So there is my 1 cup of sugar. Those berries are going to liquefy in the oven. So you're going to need some flour to gel it up. So that's 2 tablespoons, which is 1 tablespoon per pound of cherry mix. You don't want to stir it up much because you don't want to disturb the beautiful plumpness of your berries. So I kind of just try to incorporate the flour in the sugar lightly, so the flour isn't in one big lump in my recipe. But just a little bit. It is going to bubble away, and they're going to mingle at this party in the bowl. Okay, I'm getting mush over here. That's not a good sign. I'm going to step away from the wreck. In 5 minutes time, I'm able to get 1 more layer unrolled. Keep going, keep going. Nah, that's where it's rigid. I don't want to crack it, so good enough. Gonna let them sit there while I make my egg wash. We're gonna crack 1 egg in this bowl. And you can skip this step if you don't care about it being glossy on top. Hey, but I gotta wait for him to thaw anyways. Let's do it. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of water because I want him to be spreadable on top of that puff pastry. That makes it so I don't get a big lump of that gelatinous egg white on one part of my puff pastry. I am warming up that last little 1/4 inch of my puff pastry so I can unroll it. And I think I've done the trick here. Here we go. There's always a hitch that happens in the kitchen, and you just gotta work through it. The most important thing is that you get in there and you try, because 90% of the time you're gonna have good success. So we're gonna take this and put this over our casserole bowl. You can use anything. You can use a brownie tin or a pie tin. Whatever you have around is fine for this. Okay, so what I kind of like to do is get our puff pastry kind of in the shape of the bowl. I'm just going to take those corners off. That's all I need. I give lots of extra around that rim because I love that crust. So now I'm just going to pull that crust pastry like you would do in a pie shell and just kind of lightly pinch it together. I want everybody to know I made this, and if it's not perfect, they're going to get the picture. I want you to comment to me if you can and tell me what you think about making this. And if you try it, post it on my Facebook page because I'd love to see what it looked like. Okay, that's great. Now we're going to poke little holes in it so the steam can come out and it doesn't bubble up over the sides. That's why you do that. So I'm just going to take my knife and little chicken feet. I think that's kind of cute. Chicken feet, cluck cluck. I have fun in the kitchen and I hope you do too. Okay, that looks good to me. Now the chicken's going to get the egg. Here's my wash. A pastry brush is just great for this. And I have them. They're somewhere in the drawer. I'm not going to bother to look for them. This is good enough for me. Take my fingers and I'm going to rub that around. That's awesome. It's going to give it a nice brown glossy finish. I got a puddle over here. Get that puddle around. Now I'm going to shake a little bit of my sugar to have it like a glittery appearance too. That's about 1/2 teaspoon all over the top. Voila. I'm putting my puff pastry very cherry pie in my oven on the center rack, and the oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. He's going to sit in there for about an hour. Then I'm going to check and see if he looks beautiful. I had to add another 20 minutes to this recipe, and the reason was the center was all cold from those berries, so the exterior of that pie shell was getting way too done too fast. So I put little foil on there. I came in like a little gremlin and fixed it. And in the kitchen, you often have to fix stuff. It's just part of the deal. Wow. Look at that gorgeous, luscious berry in there. It smells great too. I like to serve it with a little ice cream because some of those bites can get really hot. If you let your pie sit up on the counter, it's going to get a little thicker, but right out of the oven, it's really juicy. This one needs a little breeze to cool it off. That's perfect. Subscribe to my channel and give me a comment. Let me know what you think and what you want me to make. Happy puff pastry, very cherry berry pie.